I'm Gene Grant here of New Mexico in Focus. Every year we invite local journalists to join us to discuss our list of top 10 stories from the past year. Tune in on December 22nd and 29th on New Mexico PBS to see the full countdown. Now, there are always a few stories that don't quite make the list, but we want to mention them. And Dan Boyd, let me start with you. I mean, you all cover so many stories. Every one of them can't be top of the fold, front page, and things just sort of come and go. Was there one for you this year, even a personal story that you thought could have just jumped up there a little bit?
I think one for me, maybe to stick kind of close to home, the Albuquerque city election, to see Tim Keller, the success he had in a competitive field. Right. I don't envy his job now as being mayor of Albuquerque. Right. We'll see how long the honeymoon lasts, but I think that was one for me, kind of seeing the margin that he won by was striking to me.
Right. That's a good one. I appreciate that, because when you think about it, even peel it back a layer to the primary, we had an interesting field with all kinds of interesting personalities, and he had to punch through, and all the public financing, all that kind of stuff. So that's a good one that got left off there. Mary Huditz, what do you think? What's the one that got?
There's a couple. Okay. So I think for sure the Albuquerque Journal did some great reporting on the Ayuntando and Guardians and who guards the Guardians and looking out for elders.
Good series.
And it had resulted in some impact as well.
Right.
So that was pretty striking and a result of good journalism.
Yeah, that's a good one. I appreciate that too. That shouldn't just come and go. That was an interesting story. Matt Grubbs, what do you think? What got left off?
As everybody starts mentioning things, I start thinking more and more and more. Like Tom Cole at the New Mexican did amazing work on the halfway homes for some of the behavioral health patients in Las Vegas, and just unbelievably bad conditions. Started out actually with some of the work that he did with the Journal.
Good point.
The art construction, the fact that we learned that some of the studies, quote-unquote studies that was based on weren't actually studies, but kind of cocktail napkin ideas about what the value of real estate would be. But for me, I think that the changing, then this is super broad, but the changing relationship that the public has with journalism and with journalists. I mean, rope tree journalists,
Thank you.
That kind of stuff, I just don't get it. And I wish folks, and this is on us, we need to do a better job of letting people know what we do and how we do it.
That's right.
But it's so vital to a democracy that I really feel like if we let that go, we're in trouble.
Thank you for putting that out there. I appreciate that. As I'm sitting here with a superstar, all-star team of reporters here, we do take for granted the job we all have to do, don't we? It's a difficulty. And I appreciate that idea of just reinforcing the idea of the basics of what journalism is and what we can do for folks here to improve lives. Inez, Russell, what do you think? What's the one that got left off for you?
I think, as I'm thinking and hearing all the things, again, what he said is true.
You can piggyback.
There's so many, but Los Alamos National Laboratory is getting a new managing contractor very soon.
Right.
And if a nonprofit is the manager, that means Northern New Mexico and the state is going to lose a lot of gross receipts taxes. You also have that piggybacked on the fact that the safety record is not great, and we've had a couple of incidences where people have nearly lost their lives. So who is going to step in and clean that up? So for Northern New Mexico, that is a huge shadow hanging over us.
I appreciate that for sure, getting that in. And I like your underplaying of a little bit of gross receipts tax. We're talking about a lot of gross receipts tax that could be gone.
That's right. And that goes into the budget and tax reform and what happens next year when a new governor takes over, will we reform our tax system?
That's right. Thank you all. Appreciate that. Good stuff.